Okay, so let's start. My name is Joanna. I'm now in Poland, in Warsaw. It's cold outside because we have white Christmases here next week. And I'd like to introduce all of our wonderful speakers for tonight. It's Tyler, Tom, Rafael, Michael. Paulina is doing a great job connecting us here, and she's here with us all the time. We were supposed to have Erica here also, but she is a bit sick. But I can see her AI notes, so she will probably know what we are doing here. And the plan for today is that we are supposed to talk about working and also living in the US, especially in Nevada. All of our wonderful speakers are from Nevada here. And the plan is that in the beginning, I will ask our speakers for a few words about each of a person. And then we'll go to the presentation. Tom will present a few things about working and living in Nevada. Then Tyler will be speaking without presentation, but will be speaking to us also about his experiences. And then we'll go to the discussion time. And all of the audience is, of course, invited to ask questions using chat. And everyone will answer what they know and what would you like to know. And I will ask also Rafael and Michael for a few words about their experiences in beginning and developing businesses here on your side in the US. So let's start, please. A few words, including how it happened that you are in Nevada now. Maybe please, Tom, be first.
Thanks, Joanna. Appreciate it. Thanks to everyone on the call today. So, Tom Nally, I work here at the government for Clark County, Nevada. That's the county that Las Vegas sits in. And I've worked here as a senior economic development specialist for 1 year. So, I'll start with how I got to Nevada. My wife's family has slowly been moving out this way from the Chicago area. Great Polish population in Chicago. Shout out to that. But have been coming out for the last 15 years because of the opportunity and the growth in Las Vegas. So, my brother first came out here to be a paramedic. He found work out here. He loved it. He found affordable housing. He found a lovely weather environment. He met his wife here, got married, and stayed. Convinced his parents, don't go to Arizona or Florida for your retirement. Please come here to Las Vegas, Nevada, where there's great opportunity. Be by your grandkids. So, great place for young family, great place for retirees. They've been out here a combination of over 10 years. And my wife and I kept visiting and saying, this is really lovely. This fast growing, lots of opportunity, more affordable than Chicago, diversifying business. And so we were looking at buying a home, which we could not afford in Chicago. Very big market, very difficult to afford. We have a young baby who's 16 months, and we said, you know what? There's a lot going on in the Las Vegas area. We have family out there for extra support. Let's see if we can get it out here. So I worked previously for the government of Ontario, Canada, out of the Canadian consulate in Chicago, doing international trade relations, helping international companies primarily from Canada enter the U.S. market in the Midwest, and then helping U.S. companies invest back into Canada in Ontario. I loved economic development work. And I told my wife, if I can find a job similar in Las Vegas, we'll go. Long story short, through a variety of networking, I was hired here at Clark County 1 year ago. Here I am as senior economic development specialist. My main purview is new business attraction. So we're rapidly trying to diversify the economy here in Southern Nevada to have more tech and innovation, to have more healthcare companies, logistics and transportation, manufacturing, creative services, sports tech, all things that complement the existing world-class hospitality and tourism industry that we have here. I've been working for 1 year in Clark County and very much enjoyed the experience and look forward to sharing more.
Thank you, Tom. Tell us, please, is it a boy or a girl?
A little girl, her name is Alana, Alana. She's 16 months old.
My, that's very nice. Okay, thank you, Tyler. I've heard that you've been, or maybe you are a musician.
Yeah, that's actually why I came to Las Vegas. I grew up in Alaska, so no stranger to cold weather. And then when I was living in Seattle, I actually was a touring musician, drummer, a professional drummer. I got called by a band in Las Vegas to come join. They were going to go on the road. They got signed. So I packed up everything and headed to Las Vegas with my wife. Never thinking I would stay in Las Vegas. I thought it was just a temporary thing. And now I've been here 18 years. So Las Vegas has been a phenomenal place to be a musician, to be any sort of creative person in Las Vegas. There's a lot of work to be had and a lot of buyers for that work. So I was on the road for 2 years, and I came back from a tour where I was pretty exhausted. And my wife, at the time, she delivered Monster energy drinks around town. She was a Monster girl and fed people caffeine. And she had come across this company that was wild and crazy called Zappos.com. And she said, "Hey, have you thought about doing something other than music?" Her exact words were, "I found this company that is like an adult daycare. I'd be comfortable dropping you off at." And she was not wrong. Zappos, I took to Zappos like a fish to water, and very quickly became their first and head fungineer. After that, we built the fungineering team to do all the company parties and events. So we were a wild company. We did about 3 billion online in shoe sales online, but we didn't identify as an online retailer. We identified as a customer service company first. That was our product. And then we got bought by Amazon. And at that time, I was doing marketing for the company, and we got a windfall from that acquisition. Amazon bought Zappos for 1.2 billion in stock back in 2010. And that was when their stock was $87 a share. So if you have Amazon stock right now, you can kind of do the math of how much that windfall was. We then decided to move our headquarters into the core of downtown Las Vegas, which at the time was very blighted. There was a lot of issues in downtown, safety issues. I myself wouldn't really go across the street, like Las Vegas Boulevard on Fremont Street, if you know the area. It was pretty sketchy, and we moved our 1,500 employees to downtown, and we took a large portion of that windfall, particularly our CEO, Tony Shea, and started trying to revitalize the area through a company called Downtown Project and also through philanthropic and community work. Um, we really adopted the model of NYU of we didn't want you to know where Zappos headquarters began and the city ended. We wanted to be fully integrated into downtown live, work, play, learn environment. So through that, just learned a lot about the hard way about economic development from the private side. I retired from Zappos February of 2022 last year. And actually, the city of Las Vegas reached out to me and said, "Hey, you've done so much work on the private sector. Would you be interested in coming to work for the city of Las Vegas?" So here I am a year in on the public side after retiring from Zappos. So I've been doing economic and urban development, particularly focusing on downtown, the tech and startup community, the things that I really know about, and really working to understand the public side of things, how things get done, the politics, the bureaucracy side of it, and having a lot of fun and building community. And get the pleasure of working with Tom and others here on this call to just try to be a placemaker and help give a soft landing for people and companies that are coming into Las Vegas.
And it's fantastic that public sector in Las Vegas have people like you on board.
It was definitely a surprise. I did not plan on coming into public sector work, but it has been a fun adventure.
Yeah. When you have an experience like yours, it's really valuable for both sides, probably. Thank you, Taylor. And now, Michael in English.
Yeah.
It's been how long? 5 years ago when we spent 2 weeks in Las
That was before pandemics. Yeah, 5 years ago. 5 years ago. That was the first time I came to Vegas. Not the first time I came to States, because my story is that after high school I have no idea what to do in my life and what a major to choose going to university. So I got this hint from my teacher, the English teacher, go to state and get a gap year. That's what they do there in US. I was like, what's the gap year? I was like, I just take a year off and you think what you want to do in life. And I said, oh, that's a cool idea. So I went to States then. and stayed in Ohio, Cleveland. That was actually Akron, where the LeBron James comes from. I mean, he was born there and he lived with the family. Then I moved to Florida for a university when I passed there was a SAT test, right? So I've done the SAT test and I start movie production on Florida because that was the cool idea to do, to study since I'm in the US, but then came back to Poland and came again back to US with business ideas and opportunities where we actually met together. I met Rafael as well from the first day. We just got, we feel like a friends, and he apparently loved the state much more, so he moved away, moved straight away. I'm traveling a lot, so I'm one step in the US, especially in Nevada, because we registered our companies there, we register our foundations there, so we have also non-profit organization, and doing as a company we're doing software. So most of the business activities we do is software oriented services, working with Rafael, playing some golf. It's a great place to to work around the clock. So that's my story.
Thank you, Michał. And Rafa, tell us a bit, or not a bit, about you and your travel to the US.
Yeah, so it's Michael, I have to worry you, it was like almost 6 years ago. It's
6 years ago. That's what I thought.
yeah, like last year it was like 5 years, really? It's already 5 years. No, it's like
That was it.
yeah. So it's like three of us, Joanna, like Michael and me, were in the same group of like Polish companies that came here after like Nevada started to look outside, like to Taylor and Tom points, like, but Nevada is trying to diversify and bringing new companies. But we were like one of the first from Poland to come here. Yeah, like I decided to stay because like my story of my Polish company was that we also always wanted to go outside. We also always wanted to expand, and we had big difficulties when going to US and accessing the market. We had distributors in more than 80 countries before we had somebody in US, and the things that we were doing in other countries didn't work in US because the market is very specific. The clientele is very specific, so we have to have like a special approach to this. And only after opening the office here, even virtual office in Miami, we were able to kind of bridge the market, have presence here. So I knew that okay, going this way, I have to be here to be more successful, right? At some point to grow my business. And when this opportunity of this cooperation coming here on the mission for week in Reno, week in Vegas, that opportunity kind of opened my eyes, to possibilities to networking here. I'm sure like Tom and Tyler will tell about this, that how special Nevada is, how special the ecosystem and business environment is, and this cooperation between government and private sector is very good, and the connections we have here are very short and very we can get things done very quickly, and I saw that during those 2 weeks in Nevada, and I said, okay, like this is opportunity, right? Let's use this. And so I called my wife and what do you think about moving to States? And she was okay. Let's try it, right? We done what we can in US, and let's do it. And I remember like with Michael, I was talking about this with Michael because as I said, we were 2 weeks here, and between week in Reno and week in Vegas, we had like we drove from Reno to Vegas. We had like Toyota Sienna, and all of like how many of us were like 6 people, right? Right. So like Joanna and other companies, we were all in Toyota Sienna, driving from Reno, to Vegas, and like they were like sleeping in the back, and I was like Michael was driving, I was riding shotgun. And we were just talking, about this and different like approaches, what we can do here, right? So when I made this decision, okay, let's do it, and I had to, I had to figure out all this like good things we have here and bad things we have here, right? Like, okay, how to figure out the health insurance, like how to figure out, buying the car, renting the house, right, and stuff like this. But I made it. Like I moved in July, and I love it. And Michael was, we're working with Michael on setting new businesses, and he's coming here from time to time. He's like golfer, and I love his stories. Like when he's I've been like on the calls with Poland for like from like 7, like it's 11 a.m. now, and I'm done. Right, everything, like all the business in Poland is done now. I can live here. Right.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, so for me, like for someone from outside, it's like a great place to kind of be, and also like from personal perspective, my kids are also here, and they were very young when they came here. They were like 7 and 6, so they the acceptance in school was great. Like they had like different accent and everything, and teacher said, okay, like it's not a problem, like everyone's from somewhere here, right? It's very, very young town, and they expect kind of different accents, different way of speaking, right? So it's not normal, and the community is very accepting. But I'm sure like we'll also get to this like when discussing, but like, okay, so I will shut up now because I'm talking and talking. So yeah, let's Joanna, you have to stop me, like if when I start talking and telling, I'm like I'm going too far.
Yeah, have flow. Okay, so I also like to add something, because it's not that in Poland, yes, because we are here 3 people from Poland. It's not like we cannot do business here, because we all do it. It's possible, and it's really quite nice to have business in Poland. But when we went for the first time to your country and to Nevada, even the atmosphere, even the weather, even the people, and even their openness and their business advices were really enhancing to get there for real and start doing your work life and family life there. Okay, so after this short introduction, we'll go to the one and only presentation today. It's Tom's presentation, and Tom will present some insights of the broader country and around Las Vegas. And Tom will focus on the unique advantages and opportunities of this place. So we can't wait to see your presentation, Tom. Can you please share the screen and tell us a few words about what are your discoveries?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Let me share the screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Move that icon over here.
Okay, so the screens are yours.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. So, key considerations for international companies. I want everybody who's on the call today who is elsewhere, who is not currently in Southern Nevada, who is not in the Las Vegas area, to understand a bit more about where we are, why this is a great place to live, why this is a great place to do business. So, I will begin. All right, so this slide, get located. Where are we in the United States? So as you can see, we're located in Southern Nevada, the Las Vegas metro area, and Clark County is what is outlined. So I work for the government of Clark County, Nevada. That is the larger county that all of the Las Vegas area sits in. So it's 8,000 square miles. You can see that red border defined there, goes all the way to the Arizona and California and Utah borders. The unique advantage of this is that, especially with our international airport being a international tourism, hospitality, and business travel for conferences like CES Destination, we're very accessible to a lot of the US Southwest, to the very large California market, to Phoenix, Arizona, to even Denver, Colorado, and places like San Francisco. But you get to be located in a place that is a full-size metro, but without all the arduous trappings that come with being an enormous US metro, meaning we don't have as many regulations on business. Our tax rates are lower. It is easier and friendlier to do business here. There are less people. It's easier to get to know people. And people, as Rafael noted, are very accepting of outsiders here, which in some US states, they can be a little more inward looking, maybe question a little more people who come in from outside of their area. But Here in Las Vegas, it's very friendly because since the beginning, this has been a town built on outsiders, built on dreamers, built on entrepreneurs. So I think people coming here will find a lot of that here in the Las Vegas area. So getting located, understanding where we are in the Las Vegas area. This map shows just the jurisdictional breakdown of the Las Vegas area. So me at the county, we actually directly administer, our county government does, to the areas that are highlighted there in the peach color. That's unincorporated Clark County. That includes the Las Vegas Strip. That includes the very fast growing Southwest area. If you've heard of the Innovation District, Clark County designated out there, where the left anchor is the Harry Reid Tech Park and Blackfire, and the right anchor is the Switch Data Center, which is the biggest data center in the Las Vegas area. We actually have dark fiber connections that are being made between UNLV's Tech Park and Switch to enable supercomputing and AI. And we want to make that accessible as more businesses move into that Southwest area. You can also see on the east side, we have UNLV's whole campus. We have Harry Reid, formerly called McCarran Airport. We have the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. We have T-Mobile Arena, and it actually goes as far north to where it becomes the city of Las Vegas and Tyler's jurisdiction at Sahara. We also have a large area up to the northeast that has a decent industrial base pocket close to Nellis Air Force Base. So you can see you have our friends in the city of Las Vegas up north. You have then the city of North Las Vegas northeast of that, and then down in the southeast you have Henderson. I like to spell this out not only because for businesses, depending on where you want to do business around the valley, you'll need a license in each one of these jurisdictions, be it unincorporated Clark County, North Las Vegas, City of Las Vegas, Henderson. But it's also an advantage in terms of resources that each one of these jurisdictions have dedicated economic development teams who can help your business navigate, make partnerships with local businesses, make introductions. Tyler is an expert on all the amazing things going on in downtown Las Vegas. I've got the big things going on spread out across the unincorporated county. Our friends in Henderson have some great industrial based things going on. So do our friends in North Vegas. So it's really a great mosaic of jurisdictional assistance for incoming businesses and people looking to invest in Las Vegas, create jobs here, grow here, and live here. And that's what it's all about. Economic diversification takes new companies and new ideas coming to our area and investing in our community. And in return, we hope that our community will invest in all of you who come here. And I know Rafael and Michael can attest to ways that that's been happening for them so far. So, Beyond Borders for International Business, we are a part of a foreign trade zone, which can be very helpful if you're physically importing and exporting materials or products into the United States from elsewhere. So, we're in Foreign Trade Zone 89, which can do customs and duties deferments, and some you can avoid altogether. If you bring it into the foreign trade zone, you manipulate the product and it's sold outside of the US, you actually avoid US duties on that altogether, or the duties and tariffs would be assessed based on the state and market you're selling it into as a finished product rather than the components. It can also help you speed up your customs clearance at the ports, get things in more easily. And as you can see, part of our advantage here in Southern Nevada and Clark County and Las Vegas is strategic location. We're conveniently located 5 hours from the largest port complex in the US at Los Angeles San Pedro Port. We have access to rail, so you can bring things in by there. Very exciting as long as it stays on track. The Brightline Train Project, the US first high-speed rail project to run between Las Vegas and Southern California, is due to be completed in 2028, which would cut the time from getting here to there in 2 hours and into downtown Los Angeles in about 3 hours. Will be huge for business. 22% of our population is foreign born. So if you are coming from outside the country and worried about, will there be that diversity? Will people understand me? Will I be able to find common cause? We're a very diverse county. We're the 11th largest in the U.S. And as you can see, we're rapidly trying to diversify beyond this incredible, base we have in hospitality and tourism. But we have manufacturing growth, we have healthcare growth, we have technology and innovation growth across many different sectors, some related to hospitality and tourism and some not. Next slide. Come once, come correct. So this are just some tips I have and some things to think about if you're an international founder of business or even just nationally, not outside of in the Las Vegas area. Think about your market entry. I always say you have one chance at a first impression. That's what come once, come correct means, that you don't have any false starts. You don't have any issues. I've heard some founder stories of, hey, I tried to enter the Las Vegas market, but then I hit this roadblock and that roadblock. And really, we here in economic development, Tyler and I, and then Rafael and Michael, through the work with visionaries, creating a network for entrepreneurs and companies, are really here to help you have that soft landing, help you think about all these things, make connections, put these plans in place. So think about your incorporation succession plan. Do you want to be a Delaware C Corp, or do you want to be incorporated here in Nevada, where there's actually additional advantages to doing that? Then you need to get your state business license, your local business license. Make sure you have the regulatory compliance. Make sure you understand cultural difference and language barriers and have people to help access that. Visa considerations. If you're coming from abroad, what kind of visa will you use to remain in the United States? Are you going to come on an investor visa, a student visa, some other kinds of visa? Workforce development and talent acquisition resources. We here in economic development partner with a lot of great organizations around town, from higher education, so College of Southern Nevada, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. There's also Employ NV, and there's Workforce Connections, and several other partners who are basically dedicated to helping you access local talent to help your business grow, and even can offer incentives to your business for hiring Nevadans and hiring local people to work. Local partnerships. You want to do some research on the market of, who would you really get at? Who could be a critical partner? Who could be a critical ally? Who could be a critical client of yours? Who could make difference and give you credibility locally? I think Tyler will assess this. Even though we're 2.3 million people in the Las Vegas metro area, and actually 1 million of those live with us in unincorporated Clark County, we still function a lot like a small town that's very relationship based, where people in business and academia and government know each other well. So if you're a new person, thinking about those partners who can help you access the rest of that market, give you credibility, give people an understanding of what you do, so they understand that you're not a con artist, you're not here for short-term gain, you're here for the right reasons, and that you see a business opportunity and you're a business person, but you also see the chance to invest in the community and grow within the community as well. You'll need to think about your key local services. Banking, legal, very important for companies coming from abroad. IP protection, protecting your intellectual property, especially as a tech or a software company. Accounting, you may have different accounting rules than where you're coming from internationally. And then another thing to think about is, what makes your company unique in the United States market, and how do you differentiate yourself here, because we're a very large economy in the United States? And then who are your competitors? But one of the great advantages of being in Nevada is, we're not Los Angeles or Chicago or Miami or New York, where you could have a unique idea, but still be a very small fish in a very big pond. If you're a technology or an innovative company coming here and doing something in Las Vegas, it will make news and it will get people's attentions, because we're still building that ecosystem as a whole. Tyler and them started 10 years ago with a huge thing with Zappos, really kicking it into high gear, but still every day we're seeing new tech and innovation, advanced manufacturing, healthcare innovation, biotech coming in here, and it makes news and people care about it, because we're not so big yet that we don't have the time to pay attention to these things. Could you offer a free or no cost trial or pilot program to potential clients? I've helped a few companies, including a water tech company from Australia, get a pilot with Resorts World. They have water cleaning electrolysis technology with a machine and an app that monitors pool water quality, that lessens the need to use chlorine and dump out water. They were able to come here, show their product to Resorts World, and Resorts World said, okay, we'll use these 4 pools as a pilot, and they're offering them a very low cost, just basically the cost of the equipment to run for the next year here. And that could create an opportunity for a full-time contract with them. But what it also does is it creates that word of mouth of, this company's in the market, it's doing these unique things. And many people here in town, word of mouth is important, what other businesses are doing, what kind of services they're utilizing. So my hope is for them that, maybe they catch on with Resorts World, but at the very least, some of the other pool operators, the resorts, the hotels, the casinos, the parks and recreations, or even private pool companies see their technology and want to know, how do we bring more of this into the Las Vegas market? Networking and connections. Hopefully you're doing this today. We'd love to get connected with any of you who are on the call, Tyler and I, Rafael, Michael, and talk about how we can help you enter the market here in Las Vegas. And then find your allies. We're from local government. There's also the LVGEA, which is our regional economic development organization. We have Zero Labs at Blackfire, and Blackfire Innovation as a whole, which is UNLV's tech startup incubator and accelerator. Lots of great resources there. UNLV as a whole in terms of workforce and research and opportunities. College of Southern Nevada, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, that's our state level economic development. They have entrepreneurship coordinators and an international team who's dedicated to bringing in international opportunities. They led a great mission for us to Select USA this past year, where we engaged with a lot of phenomenal international founders. And even out of that, have a Dutch clean tech company called Urban Mobility Systems make an announcement of coming to the United States and making us their US headquarters. And I'm working with them on first quarter 2025, trying to get that going. A good success story. The U.S. Commercial Service, who actually referred us that lead. So that's the U.S.'s trade representations and embassies and consulates around the world who refer us inbound leads of interesting companies coming from Poland, the Netherlands, Japan, Korea, and Mexico, places like that. And then our local chambers of commerce. We have the Vegas Chamber, the Henderson Chamber, the Urban Chamber, the Latin Chamber. Getting involved with your business community and making those linkages will unlock partnerships and relationships that will keep your business moving forward. I know Rafael and Michael can probably talk a bit about that later. So the access to talent, as I pointed out, College of Southern Nevada, UNLV, CCSD, Clark County School District is even starting career and technical education programs to expose high school students here to train our labor force in computer science and manufacturing and a variety of other skilled programs so that they can best decide what to do with their career and we can keep more talent local and have more local companies to hire. LVGEA, Employee NV, and GoEd, which I mentioned. And then another important facet of the market is get deals done because your customers and partners come to you. That we are the conference and trade show capital of the United States. Everyone loves to come to Las Vegas, obviously for fun, but it's a huge destination for business travel as well. You've all heard of CES, G2E, Global Gaming Expo, ETA Transact, which is a big fintech conference along with Money 2020, the HD Conference and Expo for the homewares and fixtures, IMEX Conference, CCON, Sports Tech and Innovation, MAU, Mobile Apps United, DSE and LDI, which is here this week. That's the Design Signage International and the Live Design international conferences for the live design and multimedia and digital signage communities. Actually have an interesting delegation, and Tyler's going to join me coming in from Quebec, who's here for that show. And in the meantime, what we're trying to do here in Vegas is we have all these great international business people coming in for the show. One, your business can take advantage of meeting partners, clients, and all that locally without having to travel outside the Las Vegas market. You just have to go to when the convention's in town to make strategic partnerships to grow your business. But number two, we're now trying to land these companies here in Las Vegas. If they're already here doing business a couple times a year for business development, this is a great town to put a permanent business development team as a beachhead for your team, because 4 or 5 times a year your industry comes to you. We're making that case to these companies who are coming here and saying, how much business do you do in Las Vegas and how do we help you do more when you're already coming here? And the convention space is enormous. Las Vegas Convention Center itself has 2.5 million square feet of event space. They can be running 3 or 4 sizable conferences at the same time. Each one of the major casinos has big event spaces, whether it's Resorts World, Caesar's Palace, Mandalay Bay, etc. And so there's events of every size, meetings of every size. It's a great place to convene people. We have tons of international flights and tons of flights from around the US. We're a destination for business travel. And then of the 40 million visitors who come to Las Vegas a year, which is a huge amount considering we have 2.3 million people total living here, about 5 million are directly tied to the conference and trade show. So basically double the population of Las Vegas comes here every year just for conferences and trade shows alone to do business. So I want to make the pitch on developing with us if you're a tech and innovation company. And I mean that in a broad sense, whether it's software, whether it's advanced manufacturing or robotics tech, healthcare tech, logistics tech, anything tech and innovation in the county, we're hoping to cluster in our tech and innovation corridor down in the Southwest. So I mentioned it's on the 215 between the Switch Data Center and Harry Reid Tech Park. You can see there's already some good companies there. You got Boyd Gaming, Ainsworth Gaming, the UFC's headquarters is there. There's a great new mixed use area called On Commons, which is live, work, play. There's apartments, there's restaurants, there's office space, and the county is planning on. We have on our website a executive summary innovation plan for developing this area. We're appointing a steering committee for the county to invest money in developing a core campus for companies to go into in that area, standing up office space, making acquisitions of existing buildings to complement what's going on at UNLV side from the county side, and dispersing that whole area to be a center for tech and innovation in the Las Vegas area. So there'll be more opportunities there as we continue to develop that, but just want to make that pitch. It's conveniently located 10 minutes west of the airport in the very fast growing southwest area of Clark County and the Las Vegas area. So quality of life, we talked about it with the lovely golf courses and the great weather we have here. Our community is strategically positioned and accessible, less congestion. I say this coming from Chicago, very large city in the United States. I lived 6 to 7 miles from my neighborhood home in Lincoln Square to downtown Chicago, across from Millennium Park at the Bean at the Canadian Consulate. Commuting to work every day took me an hour or more, even though I lived 6 to 7 miles away. Now I live down in the southeast of the Vegas Valley in Henderson. I commute 22 miles northwest to the city of Las Vegas 30 minutes on average is my drive every day to work. So a huge difference in that quality of life of it's less congested. Housing prices are more competitive here. You know, like anywhere else, they've gone up a little bit in recent years, but I was still able to afford a brand new build house, 2,000 square feet, 2-car garage with my family that I could never afford in the city of Chicago, given the budget that I had for my family. So that's huge. Also, no state income tax. That's huge for people working here. You will not have the state taking tax money out for your income. There's no corporate income tax. There's no franchise tax, no unitary tax, and there's low property taxes as well. So there's a low tax and regulatory burden on businesses coming here. We have the diverse and growing population, a huge visitor base. You get to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. And we have the reliably sunny weather, which everybody loves, about 310 or 20 plus days of sun per year. You know, they can get very hot during the summer, and that's something you'll have to deal with. But maybe where you come from, you already have hot summers, or like Poland or Chicago, deathly cold winters. Right now, it's going to get up to 55, 60 degrees today. That's not bad for mid-December here in Las Vegas. And you see we have our outdoor recreation, family-friendly communities. We have parks. 9 months out of the year when it's not the summer, you can go to Mount Charleston, you can go to Red Rocks National Parks, Lake Mead, you can go boating. So there's really a huge opportunity for families, and that's that sense of community that there's so much more here than just the Vegas Strip. That's a little core at the heart of the Vegas Valley. The Vegas Valley is so spread out and diverse and has opportunities, price points in terms of houses, styles of living, communities of living, from high end in Summerlin to a little more casual in parts of Henderson and the county, to the thriving arts and culture of downtown Las Vegas. There's really something for everyone here, what you're looking for in a place to live, work, and play. This was a slide I left in for my presentation from a month ago, but I wanted to flag there's great events like this, like Pitch Mayhem, that we sponsored, that is a way of profiling our community. It's basically pitch competitions that happen here in town for tech companies who are interested in getting exposed to the Las Vegas market. And it also allows our local tech companies to get exposed to the national and international market. We're actively working every day at creating more opportunities for startup and tech founders here in Las Vegas, more access to capital, more opportunities to pitch, more connections, more training, more mentorship. Rafael, Michael, and all the team of Visionaries NV, you're doing a great job building that community through Visionaries NV and your application. That's a huge part of what we want to do. We want to have a thriving entrepreneurial and startup support community, which is actively being built here in Las Vegas, with more founders coming all the time, which makes it very exciting. And that's all I have for you today. My contact info is on the screen. Thank you for the chance to present, tell you more about Clark County, Southern Nevada, and the greater Las Vegas area. Really excited for anybody who's looking at an opportunity of coming here. We're here to be your guides, your connectors, and look forward to answering any questions later. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, so much for such an impressive presentation and so many facts and insights you made. And let's go to Tyler now. Tyler will tell us more about strictly why Las Vegas. Yes?
Yes. Tom pretty much covered it all, so I think we can all just kind of go home now. No, I'm just kidding. But great presentation, Tom. And I think for me, I really wanted to cover a little bit more on my human experience with Las Vegas as long as I've been here. There's so many great reasons, like Tom outlined, business-wise, tax-wise, affordability-wise, that Las Vegas makes sense. But one of the slogans of Las Vegas recently in a marketing campaign in partnership with the LVCVA was this "down for anything." It's like, come to Las Vegas, we're down for anything, and it really is truly still even in the United States. It's kind of like the Wild West. We really want your company to come here to be successful. The government is very accessible. Our council folks will give you their cell phone numbers. We'll take meetings with people, try to make the connections work. And so rewinding back to when I first joined Zappos, one of the things I heard a lot was, why did we move our tech company from Silicon Valley, San Francisco, into Las Vegas? And our CEO would always say the same thing. Well, we identify as a customer service company, so Las Vegas is the best in the world at customer service. And there's people here who have that customer service mindset. And I think that customer service mindset, since we are a service town, and almost everybody in this community has worked in the service industry in some capacity, It's baked into the nature of the city to host and be a customer service oriented town. And that includes those folks coming into town, not just from tourism, but from, you want to be a resident here? Let's show you our favorite spots to go grab lunch. Our coffee shops that are these little nodes and hubs where people flow through and you see everybody that you might need to do business with. Those key locations that are placemaking that exist in our community. And Tom showed you that map where you have different cities, and the city of Las Vegas, I think, is truly unique because while the Strip has these massive, amazing, beautiful resorts, we're a little grittier. You know, we have the Arts District and the Fremont East Entertainment District, and those districts are, I like to say, for lack of a better term, it's kind of like the rebellious little sister of the Strip. You know, that might show up at Thanksgiving and say some inappropriate things, but that's what downtown Las Vegas is in my mind, from a persona perspective. So we get a lot of companies, and Tom does a really great job of, we want you to land in the right place for you, depending on what your product is. We chose downtown because we just saw a land of opportunity there, and that the city really was down for anything. And to give you some examples of that, a lot of us, we went to Burning Man. You know, we're burners, and we wanted to bring a giant fire-breathing praying mantis to downtown Las Vegas. Now, trying to get something like that done in New York or LA or in some other cities where, man, there's just so many hoops you have to jump through and bureaucracies. When we floated that past the city, it was an immediate yes. Yes, let's figure out a way to make it happen. Here's our fire marshal. He can, you know, help walk you through the process of getting this done. And so it's not that things didn't have processes to go through, but the immediate was, yeah, let's try this. Why not? We're Las Vegas. We're the place that we'll try anything, really. So from a human experience perspective for any business, I like to think of Las Vegas as the city of the future, because when COVID happened, it really unlocked Las Vegas's superpower, which is now a lot of your startup and tech companies are sometimes remote first, not always, but also they have a decentralized and distributed workforce. So our city is, no, there's no better city. I can't think of one that is a better host city. So the conversations I'm having with a lot of companies right now are, hey, we're interested in expanding to Las Vegas, or we're coming to Las Vegas. You know, we have, our employees are kind of everywhere. Now that we're decentralized and distributed, it's not that model of let's build a massive campus. Unless you're like a UFC or you are a Switch, those make sense to build these campuses. But now you can take 20 to 30% of what it costs you to run a headquarters in any city, and you could summit your employees and give them the time of their life 4 times a year in Las Vegas and leverage the city for your customers. And like the way I like to think about it is, um, on a personal level, I never need to visit anybody because uh, everybody flows through this town for one reason or another, whether they're coming to a show. So all my family members, all my friends, at some point during the year, they come to Las Vegas. So I only go on trips to visit people now that I want to. And the same thing happens with your customers. You know, that all of those conventions that Tom mentioned on that slide, the 24,000 different smaller conventions, at some point, your customers flowing through this town. And what I see in the future, these smart companies doing is they're building their brand experience headquarters with their go-to-market teams. And so they're using the city of Las Vegas to create content, to throw events where they're closing deals. They're putting their salespeople strategically inside of these conferences to take strategic meetings, to get strategic leads. And they're seeing huge amount of success because instead of you having to fly all over and travel to your customers' HQs, they're in your brand experience now that you build inside of the city of Las Vegas. So the really smart and the scrappy companies that have products are utilizing the city kind of as a physical marketing CRM. And so it's really fascinating to see these really smart distributed, decentralized companies coming into Las Vegas and building out their sales, their brand experience headquarters, and essentially their mousetrap for their customers as they flow through town. And then they're hosting their employees here 4 times a year or twice a year, whatever it looks like for your company, and leveraging the city's smart capacity to drive your sales and keep your employees connected during this time where it's a little bit confusing with remote workforces. So the access to the government is second to none here in Las Vegas. We really want the companies to be here, to be successful. And then there's so many different ways to connect in this city. We're second to none in the human experience when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to food. You know, that's one thing that I don't think we tout enough is this town, a 24/7 food town. The best of the best restaurants and chefs are here, and they're I mean, one of my favorite restaurants downtown where I take meetings all the time is a place called Esther's Kitchen. I mean, it's incredible the food and the stuff that we have in downtown Las Vegas. So I don't see a better city that moves into the future of where companies are needing to get to, especially if you're starting to be distributed nationally, regionally. Las Vegas is that hub, and it's arguably the deal flow capital of the entire world right now. More deals get done at dinners on the strip, at these shows, after an Eagles concert at the Sphere. I'll give you one example. We had this really cool startup that's coming in from LA. They use drones to clean buildings. So imagine a drone with a water hose, and they use a solution with vinegar. It's all natural. They reclaim the water. Super cool company. And they're like, well, you know, we want to expand into Las Vegas because you have all these things to clean. So we connected them with the Sphere. And just as a stunt, they want to clean the Sphere. How cool of content is that, you know, for that group to clean the Sphere with their drones, get that video footage, and that's, you know, more than likely going to go viral. And, you know, they're really excited. They said, we'll clean the Sphere for free. Just give us an opportunity to do it. So, you know, in most other places or towns, I feel like you get a lot of no's and you get a lot of red tape, you get a lot of bureaucracy. I've not seen that here in Las Vegas, and our counterparts in the different cities and municipalities, Tom at the county, we all bond together to try to find the best, most integrated solution for businesses that are wanting to make Las Vegas their home. And so I thought I was going to be a transient flow through Las Vegas, be here maybe 18 months, 2 years. You know, I'm getting up there now to 20 years in this city, and it's been so incredibly fun to live here, work here, play here, learn here, and grow. So
Okay.
excited that you all are thinking about it.
Thank you, Taylor, for this heartwarming speech, actually, from business and also human perspective. Thank you. That was very, very nice to hear such words. And thank you both, Tom and Taylor, for underlining the meaning of network, and that actually I made some notes that Tim told us that the Las Vegas area is the relationship-based business area. And that's how it is. And going further to our discussion plans, I'd like to ask Rafael maybe first, what network gave you, how networking changed your business and how helped you develop, and where are you now? Thanks to the network, thanks to those people you met and who helped you.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, like at the beginning, that we started our kind of like journey when it comes to entering US from Miami, but that was like just like a first place we landed. I didn't know, I knew very few people there, and but it didn't work for me actually, right? So but when that opportunity and coming here and seeing kind of like this also like stark difference between how I was used to doing things in Poland and how you know, in Miami, in Florida, and how things are done here, you know, all this. Taylor and Tom mentioned that kind of close relationship between, you know, different parts of the ecosystem, you know, government or institutions, organizations, you know, we talk normally like with each other, right? We can direct contact with each other. We can move things very quickly, and that's what I felt during those 2 weeks when I was here in 2019 on the mission. That's what I kind of noticed that, oh, I can really have things done here. I can really make an impact, and I think like all of us like said that, right? Tom and Taylor, that everyone that comes here can bring his own kind of impact to the community. It's still like maturing, it's still like growing, it's still like not big enough and kind of how to call it, I'll call like a you know, like not so self kind of involved like in LA on or San Francisco, but you really have to be big player to be noticed. Here you can even the smallest company, you know, like me, I think I'm doing something for a community. I'm doing something for the ecosystem. I'm making it work better for companies coming here. And I'm like, I'm here for 5 years, right? I came here from Poland, you know, so I'm not like a senator or somebody. Like I'm just entrepreneur, and I think I'm doing my impact on the community, right? So everyone can come here and be impactful and have some influence on the community. And the best way to do it is through networking, right? And those that connections, those relations that I built over the years, and with different communities. And that's also maybe that's like one kind of problem I saw. That's also like why I thought about visionaries and V's was, but what I noticed, like people, but I think it's normal, but people tend to, you know, like be in one organization, like what kind of one ecosystem, I would call it, like some are like pivoting more towards, I would call it like startup ecosystem, right? Well, startup organizations we have here. Some are closer to chambers of commerce, right? More mature companies. And that's what I kind of saw, because when I came here, I was involved both in startup and more mature companies with chamber of commerce and startup organizations. And I saw that when I go to those events, those networking events, I see different kind of people, and I don't see them like mix. So that was like what gave me strength, kind of being exposed to different organizations. I was like, I never went kind of, I didn't want to be like on this shelf, right? Like, okay, I'm startup. No, I want to go somewhere else. I want to see how this chamber of commerce works, how that chamber of commerce works. And just like a side note, that chambers of commerce here are completely different. What we are used to, what I was used to back in Poland, the chambers of commerce are really active here. They're really, they will work, and they are really kind of good organizations, right? My experience with chambers of commerce back from Europe was not very positive. It was just like a place you pay some money and you don't get much in return. But here it's actually worth it, especially because of networking and what gave me a lot, like those, as I said, like those kind of access to different networks, so different perspectives on looking on the ecosystem. And you can hear like from what Tom was talking, what Taylor was talking, everybody is like wants to push in an organic way this ecosystem, the Nevada and Las Vegas and Clark County kind of push it higher, right? Everybody's working to make it better place to live in and better place to do business in. And everybody's like has this mindset. And when you talk with different organizations, you can see that everybody's pushing for that, and everybody has like a different perspective on that. Like, for example, Urban Chamber is more pushing for education, startup organization, Startup NV, Startup Vegas, and they are pushing for education for startuppers. But when you talk like with like API Chamber, they are pushing for like this kind of community places like uncommons that Tom mentions, right? They are pushing for there to be more of this kind of places where you can live and spend time, right? So places to be with family, places to live in, right? So everybody has like a different perspective, and that's what I like find very very interesting to be. What I want to do is like to be like kind of like above, like an umbrella kind of organization that takes the best parts of all of it, so we can all kind of funnel this efforts into one place, and that's like what networking is here, right? And how networking works here too. Everybody's playing for the same goal, kind of, and those connections, those relations are much closer than anywhere I found. And making meeting with Tom, right? Meeting with Taylor. I think like in other countries or other cities, it will be much difficult to find somebody from business development. Probably nobody will talk to me because I'm like too small company. I'm not as big enough fish to even like register on the radar. But here I can invite Tom, I can invite Tyler to talk with us, to say a few words, to present. Everybody's important, right? Everybody, even smallest entrepreneur counts, because those small entrepreneurs, they will be big at some point, and they will shape this ecosystem. And I think it's like more important to have those smaller kind of players, smaller companies, because they are more important. They create more jobs, they create more kind of economic impact than big players. And that's what I like in this also like ecosystem, in this networking, that everybody treats you equally and treats you in a, I'll call it, respectful way, because even if you are small company, they will treat you similarly as they would treat like a bigger company, because they know you are important. You matter. You are not like too small, kind of. I hope I answered the question. I was like going around, but
But I will continue this issue because now we know what the small company coming from Poland, eastern part of Poland, wants
Yeah.
from the network. What are the dreams? Yes, what he needs. The guy like Rafael. But I'm interested, Tom. What are your expectations when you are active at the different networks? So what are you looking in those networks? So why you think it's beneficial for you to be a part of it?
Yeah, the biggest thing about being part of these networks, like Rafael's building with Visionaries NV, or they're building around town at Startup NV or any other organizations, is to understand the people who are coming to town and understand the perception of your own market. So I mean, here in Las Vegas, Tyler and I are constantly trying to talk to companies about, well, what is your perception of Las Vegas when you start, and then what is your perception of Las Vegas when you've actually come here, seen here, and engaged with the ecosystem. So keeping in touch with people like Rafael, who the longer he's been here, the more his perception kind of shifts and change. But then also understanding who are the newer people who are just starting companies here or who are considering coming here. This is all, it's the lifeline of business connection and information sharing around town that's important, because as economic developers, Tyler and I want to know who are the companies who are coming to town, who are looking at Las Vegas critically, and could we make a difference if we introduce them to somebody or give them some information or give them access to resources in them coming to town or not. So these networks that we're trying to build are hugely important communication networks for understanding who's considering Las Vegas, why are they considering Las Vegas, what is their perception of Las Vegas, and if there's ways we need to tweak that or change that or cater to them in a different way, that really understands that. So I love that because it makes the networking feel very organic. I do have fancy software Gazelle that I'm starting to utilize for business attraction and like looking at who are high growth companies I should target. But the great thing is I don't have as much time to use that because I get a lot of natural hey, it's an email from hey, I heard this company's coming to town, would you meet with them? Or hey, I'm a new company coming to town, could you help me? And so it's much nicer for us to have that organic building of interest in Las Vegas than us going out and recruiting for it. We want to do it to a degree. We want to lift the lid on all the exciting things that are going on here in the city, community, but these networks are hubs for the creativity and hubs for generating who's the next business idea, like Rafael mentioned, who can start small, but we plant them as a seed here in Las Vegas. And what we can do as an ecosystem is help cultivate them into a larger company. At the end of the day, they have to run themselves to be successful. We can give them all the connections and the conditions and the resources possible to be the most successful version of that company. That selfishly for Tyler and I's job agenda is beneficial to us because it creates more jobs and creates more economic activity in Las Vegas and diversifies our economy, which is our huge mandate. And then on a personal level, it's exciting for us because we live here and we get to reap the benefits of there being better companies here, being more economic opportunity here, being known more as a tech hub, and that will trickle down to our children, our family, our friends, and everyone else who's here. So the nice thing about being here is we're all invested as a community because we all live, work here, or both, and we all have a stake in the future of Las Vegas. And unlike these major cities where we do have that and we have love for the city and pride and things like that, we don't see as much of a way we can influence that outcome in the future as we do here in Las Vegas. You really coming here as a innovative or tech business or anything like that, you can have a big influence on the development of this economy and this community going forward. And that's really what we all are trying to do.
Yes, thank you. Maybe Taylor, you would like to add some other values you see in a new people coming to town with their ideas.
Yeah, to Tom's point, I really enjoy just watching and seeing what these really, um, you could call it cunning or innovative groups are doing and how they're building into Las Vegas. And I'll actually go through a real example of how the city partners with groups, um, both from a network perspective, but also resource. So, um, you know, you're coming to town and our goal, and I think the highest output of somebody in economic and urban development is to use a public dollar to unlock a private dollar. As the private dollars churn at a much higher return rate inside a community than the public dollars do, but the public dollars I think are very critical in strategically placing it into places where this is going to help unlock a new market, or this is going to help unlock the development of a piece of land that's critical in a really good location to its highest and best use. So there's really interesting things that we can do. So I'll use an example that we have a company that's in town. He's an operator for several different bars and restaurants in downtown Las Vegas. He's a very successful operator now, has 11 locations. They're all unique and they do a phenomenal job. So because of his success, we want to unlock him to be able to purchase land, right? And that's a very competitive place. So as a partner with the city, we'll say, how can we unlock something called a tourist improvement district? So in a redevelopment area, if you're coming in and you want to buy land, and you're going to create a tourist attraction, we can create a tourist improvement district that unlocks future sales tax revenue. And from that future sales tax revenue, we can create star bonds, sales tax anticipated revenue. And with that, we can front load your project to invest in creating that new tourist improvement district. There's also things called new market tax credits, which the city of Las Vegas was awarded $60 million in new market tax credits. Those are, let's say this company wants to purchase and build a headquarters, and that headquarters is going to be, because it's a new market, strategic for creating a workforce development funnel to create people in the service industry or to create professionals or technologists. We can take those new market tax credits, shore up their capital stack towards the bank that they need to go to get a loan. So if it's a $30 million loan and we put in $6 million worth of new market tax credits, that unlocks that company and that entrepreneur to be able to buy land. And what we know as a community is when you purchase land and you are also an operator here, your roots go deep and you're not just somebody paying a lease to somebody else who owns the land. We want to help strategically unlock those next steps as a community member. So at first you're just essentially a leaseholder, you're renting space, you're growing your company. Okay, now you want to purchase land. That's where Tom and I and others in the city partner with you to help make that make sense for you and to help use our public dollars in a strategic way to help you go to that next level, to that next phase. Because I do, we want owner operators, people who are plugged into the community. You know, I'm particularly passionate about uh, trying to get our colleges overlaid like NYU is over in New York City. So having a lot of strategic conversations with our systems of higher education of how can you do your post grad here downtown so those students are walking around, they're going to the coffee shops, they're connecting with people, you got that energy, that walkability. And there's a specific metric that we tracked back when we were doing downtown projects, and it's stroller count. And so we look at things like how many strollers are going around downtown, and then how many people are walking around and creating just those natural collisions where doesn't have to be an email, doesn't have to be a meeting. You just see somebody as you're out and about, and you get some business done. So that's just some ways that the city can partner with you, the county can partner with you when it makes sense for you to go to that next level. We always want to attract the new businesses in. That's exciting. And to Tom's point, it's kind of like get out of the way right now because everybody's got their eye on Las Vegas, which is super exciting. But also, how can we help you make this your home? You know, the place where you want to raise your kids, the place where you can go out. We're within 3 hours of the beach in LA, Utah, amazing camping grounds. We got the Red Rocks. We got incredible hiking, mountain biking. We got Mount Charleston. So we got world-class skiing. There's no shortage of events that are happening here all the time. I mean, it's constant. Right now, the National Finals Rodeo is in town, and I can tell you, I mean, it's one of the greatest things that happens for Las Vegas from an economic impact perspective. But also, it's just super fun having all the horses walking down the street with the cowboys, and all the big acts are in town. Over this weekend, I saw Chris Stapleton and George Strait. It's just incredible. And the Eagles played the night before at the Sphere. It's a really amazing town to just live and make your home. And that's our job, is to help turn it not just as an economically viable thing for you where you make money and you prosper here, great. But more importantly to me is how do you go have your roots go down and make Las Vegas your home on an individual level?
It's so fresh what you're talking, and it's really nice to hear that public sector looks so much business oriented and knows what is doing. Thank you, Taylor. And
I also I want to just jump in and say I think we're the city of the future. I mean, we got the boring tunnel, the boring company, boring tunnels all throughout our city right now, which is going to take thousands of cars off the street, off the roads on the streets, which then I see our streets becoming these public parks and these places for people to walk around. You know, we can close some of those thoroughfares down over time as this underground highway gets built. And the reason it's getting built here is because it got blocked in another city because of bureaucracy and red tape and regulations. So we have these really exciting futuristic projects happening in Las Vegas. That light rail that's coming to town that's going to get people from Southern California to here in lightning fast speed. I don't know, Tom, how fast is it? You're better with statistics than me.
Yeah, it's
Like an hour?
so the main station will be in Rancho Cucamonga, so it's 2 hours from there to the Vegas station, and then the Rancho Cucamonga station links up to the LA Metro Rail, so an additional hour downtown LA to Rancho. So 3 hours Vegas to downtown LA, or just to Southern California Rancho, 2 hours. So much faster than currently. It takes about 4.5, 5 hours to drive. That's if you're lucky and you don't have traffic. And then obviously
Yeah.
tons of great flights, still very easy to get there, but you got to get to airport an hour early. It's an hour flight, maybe an hour transportation after. It's going to unlock a whole new way of doing business and business travel where you can live in Las Vegas, but have that business linked to the huge economy in California without having to pay those California prices on houses, taxes, you name it.
Yes, and you
That's
may
pretty
have
good.
this very unique and nice lifestyle because, as I remember, it's only half an hour from the city to get to the Red Rocks and
Hmm.
other attractions. Yes, you can go to Canyon, you can go to other national parks, and it's fantastic because it's a these are very unique places. And thank you guys. And Michał, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because because of some reasons you choose to make business in the US, not in the other places, and actually we can say focused on the States. And tell me what you think are the things you may do in Nevada, in the States, that you couldn't do in other places.
Okay, I'll talk practically from the experience that I had. I mean, since 2020, I would say before pandemics, and the pandemic, the COVID-19, took a year from our life, right? I mean, when you travel from Europe to US, there was no flights, nobody knew what's going on, so we wanted to expand to the US just after we came back from the trip, but it just wasn't possible physically, and it just postponed a bit. But it also we had a chance to think through what we want to do, how we want to place our product on the market. And we've decided to invest in all the, trade shows. So we've actually bought all the tickets, and not only tickets, we've decided to change the plan we had before, just to go for the show and have a stand and try to sell our product to anybody that's walking around. We've decided to change it for the setup meetings. So the whole trade shows and conferences that the organizers in Mandala Bay, what mostly we've been doing, one of the hotels and convention centers, they have it pretty much done in a way that you go there and you already have a setup for certain meetings with clients of yours, potential clients of yours. It's of course all over the place, right? So there's an application that you meet up before, or you have a connection, and the whole process is well designed and well executed. And I believe it's only because they are so experienced in Vegas in doing that trade shows all over again. Every day there is a different trade show, whatever you want to look for. We were after retailers, we were after, e-commerce. So we've put ourselves in that matter. But whatever you do, there is every day there is a conference. I always checking the prices of the hotel, and I know how big the events are, right? Or how many the events are, because everything just moves on the booking.com. Just when the more people are coming in, the price is going up. So this is the way I'm looking at that. And we've from since we've been just traveling all over the time since last year, for the last 12 months, we've been just doing like 6 or 7 trips, and most of the time is a 1 or 2 weeks trip where I come there to see people with whom I work, right? The build that trust, build the relation, talk with everybody. The thing is that I'm meeting with Yvonne, who's doing banking for me from the side of the City National Bank, which actually Rafael put in touch with her, me with her. And the small things that matters. I know whole big investments and everything, that you have to start from somewhere, and meeting those people that have the time to listen your story of your life, and try to put herself or himself in your shoes. It's the good vibes only thing. It's there, and I know it's all over the state, but especially those who have close to ocean. So Californians, I'm always traveling straight to California to LA because it's a direct flight. Getting a car, renting that on Turo, the whole small things on the setup just makes a difference, right? Because I just go, all close my eyes, and I feel like I'm at home, although I'm traveling back and forth. So it does feel I'm not trying even think what is this, but it just overall feels like home. And the thing is that I even opened the company. It's called Good Vibes Only Production, right? So we saying our organization, non-profit organization, has also the status when it says, listen, we're gonna be an organization when everybody's are either good vibes only or get out. And the thing is that in Poland, it's not so common. But when I come to US, do business, meet with people, I'm just coming back, and I'm so good vibes, I'm pretty much exploding with it because of the people, not the land, not the weather itself. It's people, and that's what I like in the US the most. And I'm not saying those are Americans, right? It's all there are people coming there, the ones that wants to live their life in a good vibe only possibilities. And it changed a lot, because when you smile, when you talk to people, you don't know, right? You always find the opportunity. And Europe is a bit different. It's an old continent. We had Germans who are always, straightforward. You got to do your job and stuff. But the thing is that they are so creative in the US, and especially in California and Vegas. Because when we went to Vegas, my first thought was like, hey, but listen, we are startup, we are the tech company. Should we be somewhere else, San Francisco, LA, stuff like that? Those are the corporations, those are fundings there as well, right? The VCs and everything. So I wasn't so sure about Nevada, but since we had companies there, we met people, everything that the guy says before me, it's so true that it doesn't really matter. Actually, the Nevada and Vegas itself has a lot to offer that California doesn't have at all. It's the simple things, right? This is the place where everybody's coming. That's why the flights are cheap. If you have, your headquarters or the companies there, you can travel all over the state in a matter of seconds. You just book a ticket and you go. It's easier, cheaper, and especially time efficient, because that's what matters for me in a business. You have to go fast, move fast, change things as fast as possible. And this is pretty nice place to be. When I travel there, I always take somebody as a friend, as a family member, or somebody else, to go through all the places. So I already, kind of like a guide for them. And it's always a pleasure to just travel and doing that with people that are staying there all the time, through the partners or not. And I give you an example of those trade shows, and we've allocated pretty much a lot of cash to those trades, right? Because it's not the cheapest thing you can imagine, but if you do it properly, it does pay off. Right now we have a partner. Apparently, he's Abraham. Abraham is from Mexico City. He's a very well-known guy over there, and has a lot of connections that put us also through. And we met him in Vegas. There was no way I would travel to Mexico City for any reason to do business there, although I would love to catch that market, right? But the thing is that everybody's are in Vegas. So what Tom says, what Taylor says, it is true. From the perspective of our company and experience, it is true. Everybody's coming to Vegas because it's either pleasure or business, but everything is there. The whole setup is done to do it. So it's awesome to start from Vegas, start from Nevada, and build that up through all the whole states. That's what we're doing. And apparently we also cut Mexico. So that's
Thank you.
my point of view on that.
Yeah, I can see the atmosphere in front of my eyes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very nice story. Okay, so we are going to the final, and I would love to finish this webinar with something opening and with something optimistic. So I will ask all of you for telling me a bit about the success story, which comes to your mind. Success story based on the networking, on the coming to Las Vegas as a fresh business guy. I'm sure you have such stories, and you can tell us about it. And let's start from Tyler.
A, a fun story about a business coming to Las Vegas. There's a lot of really amazing success stories. Uh, I'll talk about a really fun one. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Burning Man again, and this crazy group. So this is back in my time at Zappos before joining the city. Um, I get this random invite on my calendar that we're gonna go to a plane graveyard and shop for 747s. So shop for a full-blown airplane. We get there, there's two groups. Our group was going to buy one and the other group was going to buy one. We decided to just have one group buy a 747 and figure out how to rip it apart, make it into a Burning Man art car. So this group called Big Imagination did it. They figured out a way to chop up a 747 airplane and in pieces put it back together at Burning Man. It's a huge undertaking, so impressive what they did. And then at the end of it, they were like, we don't want to dump any more money into this thing. We have this 747 that's, you know, Frankenstein being put back together. And so we said, we'll buy it. We'll buy it in Las Vegas and figure out somewhere to put this 747 airplane. And so we took it back apart. We shipped it. It's at storage right now in at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in pieces. And sure enough, it's going to this amazing area called Area 15. And if you haven't checked out Area 15 in Las Vegas, it's this really cool, experiential, fully immersive. They have Meow Wolf, and these guys are going to take that 747 and plop it into the middle of their giant expansion that they're doing right now. And you're going to be able to go party, have drinks and have food inside of a fuselage of a 747 that's had this crazy life, and it's been to Burning Man for 2 years, and um, that's there's nowhere else on the planet you could do that except in Las Vegas is find a home for a Burning Man art car that is a 747 fuselage and put it back together in the middle of the city inside of a fully immersive hub. That's probably going to go online in the next few years. So that's just a amazing, crazy story. And so when we say we're really down for anything in this city, I can't think of really a wilder story than that one that's come full circle, and I was just lucky to be involved with personally. So
Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you. And Tom, may I ask you about some success story it's on your mind?
Yeah. So one of my favorites, a company I've gotten to work with a lot over the past year, is a French-owned Nevada company called Nuvo, Noovo, and they're a luxury camper van company. Their story is just super fun. They're four French friends who had a passion for the digital nomad life. They loved being out on the road. They loved working from anywhere. Some were in tech, some had a background in engineering and cabinetry and all this stuff, but they came to the States and they were traveling a lot and they were, working remotely, traveling. They got the idea to do this bus business. So they converted a school bus into a mobile hotel where they would have people stay and they would provide all their amenities and they would take them to all these interesting places and almost like a mobile travel and tour and hotel stay. So they did it here in the States a little bit in Arizona, Nevada, California, and would take people to national parks and all these interesting outdoor places for people who wanted an active lifestyle. They eventually wound up in Latin America, traveling all over to Mexico, to South America, to Brazil. But then something happened. This business idea was fun. They were kind of running their own businesses on the side and doing this as their main thing as four friends with a dream. But then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, they had returned to one of the cities they had enjoyed and spent a good amount of time and done tours in, Las Vegas. And they decided, let's weather out, this COVID thing in Las Vegas. They had their families back in France. All four of them are from France originally. And they got stuck here longer than they thought. Their bus business went kaput because they could not be out on the road offering these tours during lockdowns and crossing borders. So they decided, how do we found a company that's based on that lifestyle, that takes advantage of the open road, the beautiful natural resources and natural parks of America that are so close here all around us in Las Vegas and Southern California and Arizona and Utah. And they invented Nuvo, which is a luxury camper van company. These are high-end camper van companies. They're converted out of a Dodge Ram conversion van, and they have solar panels on top. They have a fully descendable bed with office table. They have cookware and everything you need, fully integrated digital technology for HVAC and control of your climate and your road maps and different things. They have a pop-up technology on top for camping, and it's really designed for anybody who wants that mobile digital lifestyle. And they built it here and founded it here in Las Vegas. They're in unincorporated Clark County. They, against all odds, facing hurdles, being not from the States, being French founders, found a good network, found people who were interested, found a customer base, and started selling that first customer who wanted that digital road life, digital nomad life. And these, as opposed to other vans, were high end, about $100,000, $115,000. But the quality and craftsmanship that they made with their background in cabinet making, design, engineering, and tech, integrated all together into one amazing machine that's really a home away from home for all these people. They've been so successful in the last few years here in Las Vegas coming out of the pandemic. They went from a 5,000 square foot to a 20,000 square foot facility here in unincorporated Clark County in the Northeast, close to Nellis Air Force Base. They found great local workforce here and are hiring from the trade schools and manufacturers, have 30 people. They're selling all over. They go to all the conferences and trade shows here. They drive around to the national parks to do showcases for their clients. They go to events and conferences in Utah and Arizona and California. And so being in Las Vegas and being in Clark County has been huge for them. And even though they're international founders and did not know a lot of people in town and they're from France and didn't speak the language, they've really made a great mark on this town and a connection. And the town has grown to, invest and love them and is working with them to help them grow because of what they brought to the town, that can-do spirit and attitude and putting people to work and creating jobs. And now they live here. One of them, Benoit, had his first son, who's an American now because he was born here. And they're living in Las Vegas. And it was the best decision, they said, to be stuck here and weather out COVID here. And now they're a proud, Las Vegas born, Clark County born company that's growing into the future. So look out for them. Nuvo, Noovo, very cool company. And shout out to Paul and Benoit.
Nice. Thank you so much. And now, Michał, can you please share some story?
Oh yeah. The successful. I would say that the whole process is it's a huge success and blessing for me personally and for our business that we're doing. And I'll explain why. First of all, we had a chance to meet first time when we went as a bigger group of Polish people, right? And coming to Nevada. Why Nevada? It just, it happened. Coincidence? I don't think so. So, one thing that, that just happened and make things done, right? Another thing that happened was Rafa and my friendship with him. He moved in, so I had the first and the best connection that you might imagine, right? I wouldn't, I wouldn't ask for more because I had a friend that I met and we close to each other. He was doing business this already and putting all the connections in states and especially in Nevada, Vegas, and boom, something happened, another success, right? And I'm always looking at that as a step by step. And right now we came to the point that that we've opened our non-profit organization, the Research and Innovation Institute for Global Challenges, and we had a lot of to be done, not only in United States, but all over the place, all over the globe. We work in education, working on a special project in Edu AI. We venture build the new startup, new company that it's always, we always, since we came there and I came back and we've put it our company in a different mindset that whatever we do has to be global or we don't do business because we do software, right? So again, the whole mindset and the thing that happened because we went there, we've established a company, we established our foundation there. It's a whole blessing, and I would say that it's a success as a whole, and the more to come. And I believe it's gonna be even more success, especially with you guys that are there, and everybody that I met. There was no one that had no impact on what we're doing, on myself, and everybody's always smiling and wishing the best. So this is a lot. This is actually something that is more than money, more than fundraising, and you know, we're just pushing out forward. That's awesome.
Thank you. And last but not least, Rafael, your success story you would like to share when you unmute.
Wait. I didn't want to start talking without unmuting. Yeah, so maybe not mine, partially my success story. I will, because we are talking about technology, about like big things. I will talk about smaller thing, simpler thing. We know the person I'll be talking about. I'm talking about Bart. It's one of founders that also came here with us to US, and in a different cohort, kind of. But we did a business together, right? I'm talking about pizza truck. So the idea was that Bart and his brother, they bought a truck here years ago. Freightliner truck, so a big semi truck, and they took it to Poland, and based on that frame, they built a custom pizza truck, and it's like a big, like a glass kind of box on a Freightliner truck. So not like not your usual food truck that you see in the town. It's like a huge semi truck, food truck. And they were using it in Poland for different events. And then we met on this mission to Nevada, and we were talking, and we decided to team up and bring it here. So we brought that truck back to US. So that truck, that semi truck, made the Atlantic trip twice, both sides, from US to Europe, and from Europe to US. It landed in Miami, and he drove here to Las Vegas. Now this truck is here in Las Vegas. You can Google custom pizza truck, Las Vegas. It's a huge truck, and Bart is like doing events, like mostly events, corporate events, or like big events on near the strip or downtown. So this was his idea, for a business, nothing like fancy, just pizza truck, like idea for a business, simple. You don't have to be like semiconductor manufacturer. You don't have to build big things. You can come here and be successful doing pizza truck. But it's like it's a huge truck with a food fired oven inside, but it's like a combination of Polish kind of ingenuity, hard work, to be successful here. And I think like especially Polish people are very hardworking, very ingenious. I think it's like kind of in our blood, because for being under the like communist and Russian oath for hundreds of years, right? We build that resilience, right? We have to figure these things out ourselves. Nobody will help us. We have to figure out them ourselves. And in case of like custom pizza trucks, this business was hard hit because we moved it here before COVID, so it was hard hit by COVID. But even through COVID, it survived, and now it's very successful. I would not be like, but this kind of business can generate good revenue, right? So if you thinking that you are too small, think again. Like if food truck can generate like $500,000 of revenue annually, maybe your business is not too small for this country, right? It's just it's really a different kind of ecosystem. Pizza truck can really generate big amount of money for you and make you a living, kind of, right? So don't think that you are too small. Even pizza truck can be successful here because of the size of the market, and because you are smart, because you know how to treat your customers, how to make good food, how to be successful in kind of networking, how to get into right places with your offering. You can be successful. You don't have to be unicorn IT company. You can be food truck and be successful here.
Thank
So
you,
that's why that kind of like optimistic, like, but you don't really have to. That was my thinking, to be honest. That was my like old thinking when I was like, I thought about moving to US for years, right? I thought that I will have to do it, but in 2019 I was never close to it. It was just like this opportunity, this kind of like spur of a moment thing. But I fell in love in Nevada, fell in love in Vegas, but I decided to move, to risk it, right? So just risk it, just commit. And then it will just like happen on its own, right? So don't overthink it, right? Just follow your heart.
Yeah, and I
And
think
you can be successful here. You can be really successful here.
yeah, that's the perfect ending because of course that people eat, people need nice things, and not only very sophisticated innovational projects are what you should focus on. Thank you, Rafael. Thank you, Tom, Tyler, Michał, and Paulina, and all of our attendees. I hope that all of us got some inspiration. Oh, 1 second. I think I have a question from some anonymous attendee. I will read it, okay? How easy is to make a good networking there? Are people open-minded? Maybe Rafael. Rafael, you are the specialist of this area.
I feel like everyone is like in networking business nowadays. Yeah, so as we mentioned, it's like I think it's quite easy here to network in a sense, but when you get great connections, but the difficult part is like I think like everyone mentioned this kind of, but you have to commit first. What like a basic problem I see is like companies coming here and trying to get the first customer. And usually it will not work. Like for me and for many companies, other companies I know, only when you commit to the market, right? When you have an office here, even virtual office, when you have some presence here, when you're part of a community somehow, like join the chamber, have a virtual office here. What opens the market for you, right? Opens the people for you, because people need to know that you are, like I think Tom said that, but you are serious about being here, right? But it's not only like a fluke. You're not only looking to maybe, I don't not even talking about like con artists or something like this, but people, but you are serious about being here, but we are thinking about this market very seriously, and you are making effort to be here, to be part of the ecosystem. That people will treat you very well, and they will help you network, they will help you connect. But it's like at some point, that's what also like the idea for visionaries and view is that we will help you get this kind of recognition that you are part of an ecosystem, part of the community. We'll make first introduction for you to the network, but then it's like your work to kind of start networking, to ask Tom, okay, I'm doing this, and who should I connect to? Like ask Tyler, like, okay, I'm doing this, who should I connect to? And they will give you a list of people. Okay, you should make some introduction, and this is how it will go on, right? You will be building this kind of network of connections. And it's very easy because when the introduction is done from a also like right source, like with the right recommendation, it will follow. It will be like a quick thing to do because everybody's open to to know new businesses, new people here. You just have to commit. You just have to be serious about being here.
Yes, and thank you for these questions. And I have a question for Paulina. Paulina, could you please write down at chat the email address everyone can contact us and be part of the network after some talks and some research what you need. And one more and probably the last question from Evelina. How would you describe the work-life balance in the region, especially for busy professionals and entrepreneurs? And I would like to ask Tom to answer.
Sure. I would say we have great work-life balance. Us being a city, you can hustle as hard and be as busy as you want, or If you get your work done, Michael gave the example of like you're working all over the world, all companies are all over, and if you finish by 11 and want to go golfing, you can go do that too. So people here, value the quality of life. They value the time to relax with family and friends and enjoy the amenities here. So it is a serious town for business, but it is not a town that work is the only obsession. We have a lot of different things going on here in life. So I'd say you'd find more of an easy pace of life, a more relaxed pace of life, with still plenty of business opportunities and all the things you would want out of a big city for your business and personal life here. That's different from an LA, a Chicago, or New York, where you don't have that constant hustle bustle of you need to be grinding, burning the midnight oil every night. So it's a nice town in that way, but on the flip side, as Tyler's mentioned, it is a 24/7 town. So if you want to work hard and you want to be taking meetings all day and all night and going out and networking and doing all these things, the opportunities are there every single day of the week in Las Vegas to go do that. So it's nice because it really gives you a chance to set your own tone as a professional and for your business, what kind of work-life balance you'd like to have.
Thank you. And one more question about the tax situation. We didn't mention it, in fact, but it's a very interesting issue. Could you, Tyler, please tell a few words about the tax situation and is it expensive or not?
Well, I mean, compared to other markets, we don't have any corporate tax and we don't have any income tax. So I just ran the numbers on a business that we're talking to in California, and just strictly from corporate tax alone, they would save $300 million a year on their corporate tax. It is a tax haven in Las Vegas. So a lot of people that are CEOs or are, people who are investors, they live in this town and they deploy their capital all over the world. It's a very inexpensive town from a tax environment that you can get. So
Thank you. And two more questions. I would like to combine them. The one about
let me just add one more thing, because like for those that are like from Europe, from Poland, from outside the US, please remember that usually services are not taxed in US. So if you are buying like tangible things like phones, right? You have tax on that, right? Like VAT. There is no VAT in US. So if you buy phone, it's like it's like 8% sales tax, and that's all. There's no VAT. And also on services, there is no VAT or tax. So what you charge for a service, that's what you get, right? There's no VAT, no other taxes on services. So that's something that was like very surprising for me while moving, but that is like a good thing, right? Because probably many of us, like if you are a professional or like service provider or like software developer, whatever, your services are tax-free.
And if I could just jump in real quick, everybody. Sorry, I just wanted to say goodbye. I've got to hop off because I'm hosting an event here, a business event here in about 40 minutes. So I need to jump off to prepare. Never a dull moment. Some international companies from Quebec coming in. So thank you all very much. I hope you have a good end of the conversation and take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good one.
Have a good day. And two more questions to Rafael, really shortly. What are the first steps when you want to enter the market, and more about your community, Rafael?
So first steps, I would start with like trying to commit. Like that's exactly how we build the Visionaries platform because like in a package you can get virtual office. So without establishing company yet, you can have virtual office. You can open the office here. You can start talking with community, because also like Visionaries lets you become the part of a community, because you're joining chambers of commerce, several chambers of commerce. You're getting introduced to the ecosystem. You're starting to talk with Tyler, with me, with Tom, with many others who are like I'll call it supportive ecosystem, business ecosystem. And this is how you can kind of like dip your toes in this in US and start talking, looking for opportunities, looking for connections. Then what I would do next, like after I have those connections set up, I would come here have some meetings, you know, as Michael is doing, like every now and when he's coming here, because he has like set up meetings, because he already has connections, he already has like network here, so he has like pre-arranged meetings, right? And he can come like during the conference and like do those meetings here, right? So this is how I would start like building this kind of network remotely, kind of be here, show that you are committed, that you want to be here, and build those connections and start looking for business. And then establish company, you know, like hire some people here to be like a biz devs. You know, they don't have to be like full time. You can find like people that will help you, you know, part time, kind of look for business, you know, look for opportunities, do business, do market research. We have some cooperation with UNR and ULV, but we can have like students working for you, being like interns, helping you set up things here before you kind of go full on. I'm talking here about like more like kind of like organic thing, but I am thinking about. Of course, if you have a lot of money, if you can invest, you can start like very quickly establish HQ, hire people, and things like this. I'm assuming that you think about some trying this market. This is how I would do it, kind of low cost, right? Low cost, high chances of success approach.
And it's definitely also an offer for the people outside of the US. And if you would like to learn more, as Paulina wrote at the chat, please contact us. Please watch the movies we put into the YouTube channel of Visionaries NV. Please contact us. You have Paulina's email address. We can talk, we can discuss, we can check what you need and what is possible from both sides. So feel free.
Yeah, and we'll post this video online, right? And we'll you know, give connections to Taylor, to me, to Michael, to Tom, right? So you can talk with us. You can like kind of start talking with community here.
Yes, and you are invited to the community. Please share with us what are you doing. And for today, we must finish because we are running out of time. Everyone is busy, as you see. Everyone is doing great businesses and meetings and is sharing great success stories. So let's have a good day. Let's have a good night in Poland. And probably see you soon at the next webinars we'll organize.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Michael. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tom, but is already gone. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Paulina, for doing this for us.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so
Appreciate it.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
Right.
everyone.
Hey,
All the best. Take care. Bye.
bye.